Let you go. Matt Barrows kind enough to give us his time today on the Krug show as we talk a little 49ers. All right. One of my favorite guys, and if it was me, I would retain this guy as a priority, and that's Jimmy Ward. I think Jimmy Ward is a tremendous football player, and I know he's getting up there in age. I know he talked on the IG about his switching from slot corner to free safety, and there's more money at free safety, and so he wants to play free safety. But the 49ers need him to play slot corner, and Shanahan may have been kind of abrupt in how he verbalized it. But I kind of viewed that whole dance differently than it got played in public. In public, it plays like Jimmy's mad at the Niners. The Niners don't like Jimmy and are telling him to his face he's regressed. I actually kind of read it the other way. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But my read on it is the Niners know that the highest paid safety is Derwin James. He's 19 million. The highest paid slot's making about 9. Jimmy's making about 9. So maybe I think they moved him to the slot out of necessity because of their personnel and their depth chart and out of Gibson sitting there. But I also think they did it because they like the player and they want to keep the player and they're not going to pay him 19 million, but they're hoping that he'll take bonus money off of the slot and maybe come back for 12. But either way, I think they like Jimmy and want to retain him. I love Jimmy and want to retain him. What is your read on his future? And to me, if there's one free agent that I would love to see this team go after, I would love to see them take a shot at Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who I think's a big time guy, kind of like Jimmy Ward. And I'd like to have both those guys play one at safety and one at slot corner or whatever. But that guy's a monster. He was great with the Saints. He was great at Florida. He's great now with Philly. They can't afford him. The Saints couldn't afford him. I'd invest in him and I'd invest in Jimmy. Where do you think they are with Jimmy? And what do you think of CJ Gardner Johnson?
Well, Larry Krueger does not have a salary cap, obviously.
No cap.
Larry Krueger's bringing in everybody. Everybody's welcome. It's a Big Ten.
Come on in.
Well, I mean, I think Jimmy Ward is going to go wherever the highest money is. I mean, I can see D'Amico Ryans bringing him to Houston. Robert Saleh is such a big fan of his. I think Vic Fangio in Miami probably is as well, and Mike McDaniel knows him. So I don't know. I think it's going to be hard for the 49ers to bring him back at a discount. If he's getting, even,
what do you think he'll get at AAV?
Starting.
12?
What's that?
What do you think he'll get AAV? He's a 12 million.
I haven't thought about it, but I mean, if the 49ers think that, we like him at nickel cornerback numbers, then I think he's probably going to go somewhere else because he likes himself at free safety numbers. And frankly, he deserves it. And boy, as you know, Jalen Petrie is my reigning draft crush. I just
dominate.
I just love the pairing of Jimmy Ward and Petrie there in Houston. I think that would be a tremendous, the old guy and the young guy together. And I wonder whether D'Amico Ryans thinks the same thing. I think that the 49ers, I mean, a big part of this relies on Tashaun Gibson wanting to come back. He's a free agent too.
Right.
32 years. He's the oldest member of the defense.
And he played well.
It seems like he's got another year or two in him, but I don't know if that's been settled yet. So he could retire, and so the 49ers could be in dire straits there. And we should note that Tarvarius Moore, the backup free safety, also is a free agent. So the 49ers could be in worse situation there than we think they are. At nickel, I think that they would be okay with. Remember, they were thinking about Deommodore Lenoir as the nickel at one point this season, and then he was sort of forced to the outside with Emmanuel Mosley's injury. So I think that they like the idea of either him or Samuel Womack being the nickel of the future. That's why I think it's probable that Jimmy Ward goes on, but I'm sure Steve Wilkes likes him. Everybody who coaches Jimmy Ward loves Jimmy Ward because he likes playing football. He's a smart player. He's savvy. He's great in the locker room. This, that, and the other. So he's going to be in demand, and that's why I don't think he'll be back here.